What are 4 ways you can invest your time and your money? In this series, Boot Camp, we cover the basics, the foundational building blocks of business. Welcome to the Red to Black podcast with your hosts, Warner and Mario. Number one way you can invest your money is you can buy a business. Mario?
Buy the entire business at a fair price and make sure it's a wonderful business. 20%, 30% operating margin business. It just is drowning in free cash flow. From time to time, people want to sell those, either small businesses or even medium-sized or large businesses. They come up for sale because there's divorces, there's deaths. People move on in life. They will move out of the country. They want to go in a different direction. Wonderful businesses actually come up for sale. If you have the capital, you're diligent, know what to look for, you can find wonderful opportunities to buy entire businesses and try not to overpay for them. Multiple I like to use is 7.5 years worth of operating income. So figure out the average operating income and apply about a 7.5 multiple to that operating income, and you're getting for a wonderful business, you're getting it at a very fair price. Warner, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so buying a business, another way you could go about it is you could actually, if you have the time, say you're single or maybe even married, you could go work for that business and then work your way up that business. And if it's a smaller to medium-sized business and you've built the capital, maybe you just want to learn the business, maybe you really like the business and that's the only entry you see in terms of buying that business in the future, you convince the owner who's tired of that business or is dealing with a lot of challenges, like saying, hey, I'll take this business from you for this price. And he goes, hey, I know this guy. He'll take care of my employees. He'll run the business well. He'll keep the name going onwards into the future. So that's another way you could do it. Now, why are Mario and I talking about 4 ways to invest your time and money? Well, at different times of the market cycle, businesses could be trading at really high prices. Maybe you can't find a business to buy. So that takes us to number 2, which is investing in a business. Here's another option. Maybe you can't buy the business, or maybe you don't have the capital. Now you can invest in a business. Mario, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is where the public markets come in. There's great deals occasionally. So I can't buy an entire business, but I can buy a fraction of a business in the public markets. And sometimes you can get great deals. You can find wonderful businesses, far better, sometimes far better businesses than you could go out in town and find in a publicly traded marketplace. Like the Russell 2000, there's wonderful businesses. There's about 7,000 publicly traded. If you live in North America, you have access to over 7,000 publicly traded companies between Canada, United States, and Mexico that you can buy over the counter or through your Vanguard account, et cetera. A brokerage account. You can buy over 7,500 businesses. How do you find these businesses? I did it the old school. I'm sure there's fancier ways. My autistic nephews probably have fancier ways to do this. I went to find the 2 businesses I invested in. One's in Washington State, one's in New Jersey. I went to the Value Line Investment Survey and flipped through 7,500 businesses, and I picked 2 winners, and it worked out. It's been working out very well. So if you can't buy an entire business, buy a wonderful business, a fraction of a wonderful business. Warner, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, if you're looking for a business, there's multiple different ways you can do it. You can, like Mario said, you can just go down the line and look for it. That takes a lot of time. Another way that famous investors have talked about, and what Mario and I do, is any time you're driving around, walking around an environment in a city, in a town, wherever you are, start looking at these businesses. Go, oh, that's a cool car wash business. I wonder what the revenue is on that. Oh, Red Bull, that seems like a cool business. Maybe I invest in that. Just start looking at the business as you're walking around. Notice, are they professional and do they have a good brand? Do people talk about them? And then find those businesses. Red Bull's not public, but it's just it gets your mind going, thinking about business. Great businesses, guys, like I said, they'll look for businesses and then they'll go analyze business. Even if it's a private business, maybe you can find a similar business that's publicly traded. Another way you can look for businesses is look at certain industries. Certain industries, I just wrote an article on this. I'll link it below. There's 5 high margin industries. One would be database companies. They're at their core, how they're physically formed are really efficient in allocating capital. Number 2 would be social media businesses. They revolutionized user-generated content. They turned basically everyone into the world into a media house, whether you know it or not. You're a potential media house, like Mara and I are doing. Another one is marketplace businesses like eBay and NASDAQ. All they do is they offer a marketplace. Now their margins are a little lower, but they're still great businesses. Number 4 is real estate. Real estate is a great business if you buy at the right price. You can put debt on it. You could buy it all cash. There's so many different ways to get real estate. There's tax advantages. And then finally, the best business. I don't think you'll ever find a better business on the face of this earth. Number 5 is merchant businesses, Visa and MasterCard. Their margins are like 60%. No businesses. Well, someone told me one time, supposedly the mortuary business is the best, but I haven't researched that. So, but anyways, merchant businesses are great. So pick the industries that have the best margins and start looking through those industries. That's how I do it. So back to you, Mario. What are your thoughts? Number 3?
Nothing to add on number 2. Yeah, number 3 is start or build a business. And you're like, I don't have the skills to start or build a business. If you're listening to this podcast, you have the skills. And we'll get into, if you really don't have the skills, we'll get into how do you cultivate that. I met a gentleman in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. I was skiing with him. He makes over $750,000 a year, and he works 4 months out of the year selling Christmas trees in Southern California, Arizona, and Las Vegas. He has a bunch of Christmas tree lots. He goes to Oregon with a huge truck, semi-truck. He buys a bunch of Christmas trees in Oregon. He drives down to a desert where Christmas trees don't exactly grow. And he gets these little lots and he coordinates gypsies that live on the trees with the lots. And he gives them, $25 a tree to sell them. And he's selling for $75 trees. He's got $10 a tree into it. And he clears $750,000 for 4 months of work. It's not a complicated business. It doesn't take a whole lot of money to start a Christmas tree business. Nowadays, everybody can be in business. Like Warner said, everybody can start a social media company. Everybody can start a personal marketing company. You can get whatever you're into. There's a company that wants your exposure to sell makeup. If you're into, if you're a woman that's really good at makeup, you can have a YouTube channel and put makeup on and market makeup. Whatever you're into, if you're a truck guy, if you're a boat guy, if you're a fisher, there's tons of fishing channels just in South Florida. They shoot the same exact show every day. They go out and they catch something, they clean the fish and they cook it, but they're selling tackle and they're selling trips and they're selling all sorts of things on their channel. They're making money. They're making great money. What's another one? Sailing around the world. That's a great, I can get lost in sailing channels and they're making money. So everyone, if you can't buy an entire business, you can't invest in a good business, you can start a business. Warner, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So when you start a business, it's the most challenging. If you look at like startups, and I haven't defined this down, whether this is regular startups or like tech startups, but about 90% of them fail. And I would say that's probably similar to most businesses because they're mismanaged. They don't have the right product market fit. It's challenging because you're taking, even if you have a Christmas tree, right? Say you want to go in that business right now and you want to sell your own Christmas trees, you're gonna have to compete with all these other guys for doing 20 years. I bet you that guy that's making 750,000, I bet you it took him 10, 20 years to get to that point. He could have been in that business his whole life. I doubt that he was. Maybe it's a family business. He happened to like just fall into it. Or maybe he bounced through other businesses and just understood the core fundamentals of a business and said, hey, I like this business. I'm going to go for that. So just know that when you get in that business, it's going to be the most management, the most stress, but it's another tool in your toolbox. If you want to start it, you could do it on the side. If you have like regular income, start this business on the side and slowly build like a YouTube channel, just with no stress. Just keep building it, be consistent day in and day out. And then, those are the options. Just to give you guys a little bit of like an example why of these 4 options. Starting a business, the most challenging. Buying a business is a little less challenging. And then investing in business is probably the least challenging in terms of management. And then we get to number 4, which is reinvesting in your own business if you have one, or reinvesting in yourself. Mario, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, sometimes that's the smartest thing to do is actually just keep investing into your own business. Use the capital wisely in your own business to grow your own business. So that's marketing, that's research and development, that's capital, capital goods, buying buildings, expanding your business for the future growth. That's wonderful. You have extra capital and you can't find something smart to do with it. Reinvesting in your own businesses is great. If you don't own a business, you don't have the capacity to start a business and you can't find anything smart to buy, go ahead and invest in yourself. Spend the money on yourself. Learn accounting, learn finance, learn marketing, learn some hard skills like a skilled trade. Learn videography. That's not going away. Having like going to the University of Austin or University of Texas at Austin and learning some really high end video skills or making film school. That's not going away. Plumbing, electrical, HVAC, all those types of blue collar trades. you'd be surprised. The people that own those companies are exceptionally wealthy. There's families that are worth millions and millions and millions of dollars, $50 million in Florida, Texas, California, North Carolina, that just they do HVAC, they do plumbing, they do electrical, and you're like, well, he's just an electrician. Yeah, he's an electrician with 50 trucks and 90 employees and a huge warehouse and a parts. I mean, he's got a $50 million business. Yeah, he's just an electrician. Okay. Uh, your PhD in dance therapy, working as a barista at Starbucks that pays $17 an hour or $13 an hour, wherever state you live. Yes, you're a PhD and that guy's an electrician, but what actually moves the needle? The snowball? What's moving the snowball more? A PhD in dance therapy or an electrician? My money is on the electrician. Over to you, Warner.
Yeah. So when you're looking to invest in yourself, you want to look at value. Whatever skill or trade you're investing in, what produces the most value? So say, for example, if you're going to go into electrical trades, I used to do construction for like 10 years and still dabble in it. If you're going to go into electrical trade, look for certain like subsets of it that are the most valuable. Maybe it's secure. I don't know, but maybe it's security, like camera systems is separate. Maybe it's security or house security systems, which is a separate thing. But those are all under sort of low voltage electrical is what they're called. They're not that hard to install, but maybe they command higher margins. So start thinking about wherever you're putting your value in whatever industry, look for that niche where you can be a subject matter expert, computer programming. Maybe you're focusing on what's big right now is data analysis, AI, that type of stuff. If you're inclined towards that, just focus. And how you can find this out, just go into the market and look what people are offering in terms of jobs. Go on like Indeed.com, say, oh, this job's offering a lot here. Or go ask an electrician, hey, like when I worked with electricians, a lot of them like to just do service calls because it's simple. They show up, they make $200-$300. If there's a bigger issue, they're stacking on a few more $100 on top of that. And then they're in and out. I mean, they could make on one call one day, they could make a day's worth of income. But the real industrious ones keep like X, they have their day scheduled out. No, I can only be here for an hour. If you want me to come back and do this, I can schedule another time with you, it'd be 2 hours. The setup service calls, 120 min, if whatever I find, is tack this on it. The good guys do that. So really understand your value. And when you invest in yourself, what creates the most value? And understand these 4 areas, use them as like in a toolbox. Okay, if I can't buy a business, and I'm talking about you're building this over, you might be overwhelmed if you're like a young kid, you're watching this right now, but in 5, 10, 20 years, you have this toolbox where you can buy a business, build a business, so invest in a business or reinvest in yourself. It's like a toolbox depending on where the market is. Whatever's too expensive, okay, I'm going to this tool and look at it that way. Mario, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I was going to say number 5, the bonus is split it into a quadrant, have each one of these in each 4 options. And then based on what's overvalued, steer away from that one. So if something is too expensive, you can't buy an entire business, but there's something quality that you can invest in a part of the business, do that. So have all 4, constantly be working all 4. That's the 5th one is be doing all 4 at the same time. I know everyone's not going to be there. It's going to take time to build up to that level, but Warner and I are constantly, yes, we're interested in an entire business. Yes, we're interested in investing in business. Yes, we're starting businesses. And yes, we're constantly reinvesting in the businesses we own and ourselves. So we're doing all 4 all the time. And that's you'll get to that level. Just start going down this pathway and start thinking this way and you'll get there. It'll just take a few years.
And to finish it off, I was the one who came up with this topic for this episode, this short podcast. I didn't just pull it out of thin air. The reason I came up with this topic is because it came from what the big boys do. Oracle, NASDAQ, all these great companies, go look at their cash flow statement. What do they do on that statement? They are buying other businesses. Maybe they build up a new business, which is kind of rare. They're reinvesting in themselves. And then I forgot the other, and they are investing in other, but yeah, they are investing.
They are investing. Yeah, they are investing in fractional owner. Yeah, yeah. They don't want to. They don't want. There's something they can't buy the whole thing of, so they go into the public markets. Like Adobe is a good one. No one's ever been able to buy Adobe. It's a publicly traded company, but there's a lot of other companies that own a piece of Adobe because they don't want anybody else to buy out. So they want they want to be in that shot. So there's companies like that. Facebook has multiple owners that are big boys. Microsoft owns 10% of Facebook. There's some people that are like, no, I don't want Google to buy that. I'm going to buy 10% of that to maybe potentially make them sell me the other 90%. So yeah, the big boys, just follow what the big boys do. You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate your time and efforts. If you like this content, subscribe. Also like it, comment on it because it tells YouTube to send it out to the world. We thank you for your time and we look forward to connecting with you in the future.